this morning and to be in a position to share with you a little about cultural shift, not copying, reshaping. I want to thank NCU for inviting me, Dr. Buckley, Dean of College of Business and Admin, all the other admin staff, distinguished guests, and most importantly, the business students of Northern Caribbean University. It is an extraordinary pleasure and honor to be here today. I want to also congratulate you on this annual conference. Many times people feel that a conference is just where you talk, but really what you should be getting from this conference is knowledge, things that will stimulate the brain and to have you thinking as to how you are going to be a part of the community that will not copy, but will reshape. The theme is timely and appropriate, and it calls us to rethink the way we imagine the future. It challenges us not to replicate systems that exist elsewhere, but to design, innovate, and adapt systems that truly reflect our reality, our people, and our aspirations. You will find many times you see something and you buy it or you consume it as a technology or a product, and you say, it is from North America, etc., but it is not fit for purpose. And so what we are challenging you to do is to ensure that you think about what systems, you think about technology, and whether it is fit for purpose. The theme subtly hints that nobody expects us with today's rapidly changing technology, especially in financial sector, to start from scratch. So we know the wheel is round, and we are going to accept that. We are not going to start from scratch, but to think, to apply your knowledge of what you learn, and to say, how can I make this fit for my community? Or how can I make this fit for my job? How can I make it fit for the country? So we are going to try to reinvent, get what we have and work on it. Instead, today I will invite you to embrace the power of imagination, guided by integrity, courage, and the vision to include everyone. So some of the times when we are thinking, the thought is about AI and how persons just go there now, whether it's ChatGPT or others, and you go there and you get something, and everybody gets the same thing. But what makes you stand out to be different? Nobody is saying that you cannot look at and you cannot take from that. But there must be something else that you add, you create. So let me start with a simple story. In Kingston, two young entrepreneurs, which you are all, in this case, I think you might be all entrepreneurs, begin with similar skills, education, and ambition. One has access to mentorship, capital, and network that allows their ideas to grow. The other struggle to obtain financing, advice, and connections. Over time, the first build a thriving enterprise that employs others and strengthens the economy. The second sees potential go untapped. The difference is not talent, because they started at the same point. It is the ability to navigate and reshape systems with insight, imagination, and courage. Finance is not simple numbers. It is the bridge between ideas and impact, between dream and reality. So often we can start at the same point, that talent, but it is what you do with that, how you nurture and grow that talent, that will enable you to reshape and to realize the dreams not only of yourself, but of others. I want you to take a moment to imagine your own ideas. Raise your hand if you have an idea that could change your community. Now I'm speaking to you all. Raise your hand if you have an idea that could change your community. I see some hands there. I see a hand there. I see a hand there. Okay. Keep your hands raised if you are committed to making it succeed. Let me see those hands. Oh, we want to see more hands. Yes, that's the spirit. That energy in this room represents the beginning of transformation. It is the energy that reshapes systems because you are thinking that I need to do something different. It is a system that it's the energy that reshapes systems, earn recognition, and inspire future generation. As Ellen G. White reminds us, higher than human thought is God's ideal for his children. Allow that ideal to shape any system you design or redesign. I'm going to go on to global finance. We are feeling it, that the world is changing. The world changes every day. But you notice how rapidly the world is changing. Don't you notice that? And sometimes it gives you a sense of unease, doesn't it? Especially when you see certain decisions that are taken that they're not decisions that you necessarily would take, but because we are sometimes captive to other person's will and command. The question, your theme, also speak to that, because what it is begging for us to do is to reshape our own country. Look at what is there and see how we can develop, get those ideas community by community to change Jamaica, to change our region. So global finance moves at unprecedented speed. Trade patterns change daily, debt level rise to very high heights, and capital is selective. We are business people, we are business students. You know that capital goes to the highest bidder where you can get most for your money. So we have to ensure that capital comes to us because there is something that pulls it to us. Investors demand transparency, governance, and credibility. The world rewards those who understand systems deeply enough to, again the word, reshape them with intelligence and imagination. There's a whole lot in terms of systems and design that we can change, whether it is we are accountants, whether it is that we are in IT, whether it is that we are looking at marketing. There are so many areas that we can mold and change that is applicable to us. Small, and I underscore small, thoughtful actions applied consistently create extraordinary results. So it doesn't have to be big. So those who did not put up their hands, I'm going to charge you that whatever change or reshaping that you can think of, it does not have to be big. What it doesn't have to be? It doesn't have to be big, but you have to be consistent with it, and that small idea can create extraordinary results. Systems, however, small or large, must be fit for purpose. And let me just go around the world a little for you Technology is the architecture of the future, but it must be fueled by imagination and innovation. So we have things like digital payments, which I'm sure you have gone into, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and financial platforms. These are redesigning and redefining how we access capital, how decisions are made, and how opportunities spread. But look at this now. In Kenya, MPs enabled millions to enter the financial system through mobile phone. They created something that is fit for purpose for their own environment. In Jamaica, fintech platforms now provide farmers and small businesses with access to credit and financial services. Innovation born from local reality can outpace replication from elsewhere. So again, we are looking at reshaping, reimagining, changing to fit our circumstances. Trust is the invisible infrastructure of finance. So we are going to be also looking at how do we create or recreate systems that would engender trust. Market functions only where trust exists. Investors, entrepreneurs, and communities respond to transparency and ethical behavior. So let's take Trinidad. In Trinidad and Tobago, regulatory clarity. So again, I want to bring it home to you in the room. You are business students. You are going to be creating policies. You are going to be looking at regulations. So it is not one way, because sometimes we get steeped into feeling that the only thing that we can change now is the actual technology. But it is policies, it is programs, it's how you design regulations. And so in Trinidad and Tobago, regulatory clarity in renewable energy attracted foreign investment and strengthened local communities. We don't want you to look at the entire study in a myopic way. Every single discipline, every single area of this discipline, you can look at how can I effect change? And how can I effect change that is fit for purpose? Trust is measurable and essential. Systems that generate trust earn respect and recognition across societies and the market. Capital is evolving. Investors ask increasingly complex questions. Who benefit from financial decisions? What social impact? Again, there is so much that we're talking about social impact. How do you measure social activity, the impact? There is room for us to look at programs that can be developed in our jurisdiction to measure social impact. So I'm giving you some of these specific things. For the Caribbean, this is an opportunity. Purpose-driven investment in things like climate-resilient infrastructure, renewable energy, education, and SME financing creates both social and financial returns. When purpose guides investment, communities flourish and recognition follows naturally. Our capital markets have not fared badly in Jamaica in utilizing technology and policies. And I'm going to go, given that you heard that I was a former managing director of the exchange, I want to go and give you a little idea again as to where you make changes gradually, but those changes must be fit for purpose. We in Jamaica have a unique problem. I don't know if it is so unique, but it is a problem where the access to capital, there's an issue in terms of small and medium-sized companies accessing capital. And one of the considerations is, how do you change that? How do you offer a market that could change that? And you must have heard in 2009, we introduced to the Jamaican public a market called the junior market. And I'm going to be very specific about this. We went and we looked at other markets. AIM is the junior platform for London Stock Exchange. TSX Venture is the junior or the venture capital platform also in Canada. And we could have taken that wholesale and come to Jamaica and say, look, we're going to launch this, we're going to follow one of those. But we did not do that. What we simply did was to see what areas of it was applicable to us. And what are, you have to know your market, what are the things that would create that specific change and the objective that we were seeking to change. So we modified it. We got the government involved. We looked at it and we said, look, one of the things that people, we just spoke about trust. And we said one of the things that investors want is trust. That's one. One of the things that the government want is corporate tax at the end of the day. One of the things that the investor wants is capital. How can we marry all of those that everybody becomes comfortable? And so we changed that so that the policy and the requirement included, one, that these companies, once they get capital, they could not just delist from the exchange. Two, that the companies had to be socially and responsible. They will have to carry out the regulatory requirements, or else they have to pay back taxes. We knew that people were afraid of taxes, so we gave tax holiday. But we also said this was the first tax holiday that Jamaica would give that had what is called a clawback. So if you don't behave right, you have to pay it back. So these are some of the things that you have to think about when you are looking at changes, ensuring that you don't copy. I heard Dean talk about it. You don't copy and paste. Because if you copy and paste, chances are that you are going to fail. If you copy and paste like that, chances are you're going to fail. It must be fit for purpose. The financial market, and I'm going to go more with as obviously the financial market plays a dominant role in shaping and reshaping our lives, our culture, and our well-being. As demographics shift, we are called to find solutions. That is what you are charged to do, every year you have this conference. And I think one of the things coming out of this conference should be, what is the solution? What one thing you would have found or changed after that year has passed? That is what you, at this point, is charged to do. Not to just copy, not to just paste, but to ensure that there is value added. As demographics shift, we are called on to find solutions that may be unique to or can be adopted to our culture. And that word, I want us to underscore it, our culture. Because every country has its own culture. Every region has its own culture. Cultures can change. But one of the things that make a good idea perfect is where, when the thing is done, it fits in, people can, it's relatable. We know that there is now a demographic shift and that demand financial solution. For example, during the course of the year, I want you to consider the aging population. Let me see the hands of those who know that we're having that challenge. Let me see those hands. The aging population, more persons would be dying than the birth rate. Let me see the hands of those who know that we have an aging population. All right. And so what it is that we're going to have to look at solutions for the aged. All right? And the solutions from the aged must come from this floor. Who has an idea as to how you could do that? Get solutions for the aged, even one solution. Let me see the hand of that person. I want you to think about it, because it is an opportunity. And it cannot be that we are going to copy wholesale the path of United States. I'm going to tell you why I don't think we can do that. When in the United States the person gets old, the major thing is to put them into what? Yes, and like a nursing home and, those sort of things. So the care is left to the nursing home. In Jamaica, we have a slightly different culture, right? Where if a person gets old, they tend to stay with whom? Children, family members, etc. But we also have a situation here in Jamaica that many of the family members or the children tend to be busier than they used to be at one point. But the culture, we have a culture now, and so the idea is, how do we now find a solution? And I want you to think about it. I don't know that we're going to find that solution today. But how do we find a solution as business students, as entrepreneurs, that will ensure that the aged population is well taken care of? Or will we find a solution to encourage the increase in the birth rate? These are some of the things that you must look on, Am I correct? These are some of the problems you are now tasked to solve. As entrepreneurs, it might be, it's a mixture of technology and capital. Remember, capital is king, right? What product can you develop to address some of those needs? And this is what I want you to think about. We have to start thinking and producing those results that they say, look here, but this is a Jamaica solution, man. How can we adapt it? If I go back to the junior market, 4 regional institutions have adopted it. It has been adopted in Africa. This is what you want. And this is how you get attention to your region, and this is how you create resilience. So, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to. You're not working with me. It doesn't have to be big. That's what, when you leave today, remember, it doesn't have to be big. A small solution can have great impact. We spoke about renewable energy is another space where the Caribbean can lead and you can lead. Community, you might want to think about community solar projects and regional green bonds. How do you create a green bond? I want someone to go back and research that and to see what you can carry to the table. I see Sagicor's banner out there. You might want to have a chat with them and say you have an idea. If We are having a crisis now with wars, Iran, Iraq, and Israel, and we have sunshine out here and a lot of it. One has to now put on your thinking cap and say, how do we solve for this so that most of our energy is renewable? Right? How it is if nothing can pass that Strait of Hormuz or whatever it is, and nothing can come here, how do we survive? How our manufacturing sector continues to live? So these are some of the things that I am charging you to look at. Let me introduce an idea also that can transform finance and social sector collaboration in the Caribbean. We want to look at things that will unlock capital. We want to look at things like a regional market so that united, we are stronger for having a regional, for example, a regional capital market. Cross-trading, looking at cross-border trading is another ripe area for innovation. Currently, trade across Caribbean countries face delay, high cost, and complexity. One of the complexity is settlement of transactions, right? How do we, because you have the backbone already of many settlement systems, how can you, I know you have bright people here in terms of IT, how can we develop an easier approach to settling within our region so that the trades or any other transactions are processed in terms of real time and have real time transparency? We know about blockchain-based ledger that can ensure every transaction is verified instantly. But how do we get it now in the hands of those that best need it and can help to encourage interregional trade? So imagine, and it's not only interregional, I want you to imagine again. Imagine a Caribbean exporter selling spice to Nigeria or cocoa to Ghana with confidence that payment and delivery are verified in a real-time setting. What is needed? You have to look at the components: simplicity, transparency, trust, and all of that can transform Jamaica and the region into a global hub. We need innovative solutions geared at our specific challenges, but utilizing as a base many of the developments taking place across the world. So we are not asking you to put those aside. We're not asking you to start over. We are asking that you use those and to build on it. Cooperation, networking, and synergistic alliances are important. So you're going to not only look on ChatGPT, but you're going to go across to other universities, other countries, and see how you can make alliances to make it happen. And I want to charge the university also that research and development is critical. So these are the 5 things, thank you, to navigate this environment, the environment that we are just thinking about. The next generation must cultivate 5 defining capacities. The first is systems thinking. I want you to put that down. The first is systems thinking. Understand not only the language of finance, but the architecture behind it. The second is contextual intelligence. And why we say contextual intelligence, it comes right back to your theme, meaning that you're not going to just wholesale take anything you see and say that's nice. It will work for us. Contextual intelligence. What succeeds in one country may fail in another. Understanding your culture, the laws, and economic realities is essential. The third is governance literacy. Governance literacy. What do I mean by governance literacy? Many times our businesses as entrepreneurs and so fail because we fail to carry out what is called good governance, or even understand what to do. Have I filed my annual returns? Do I look at board independence, etc.? Knowing how boards function and how rules protect stakeholders are critical. The Eastern Caribbean securities demonstrate how regional governance framework attract investment and build capacity and credibility. Now, the fourth is developmental vision. We must have a vision. And the vision, sometimes you think it's small, it's insignificant. People might have done it already. You don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Think about how you can improve what somebody else has done. That is what is important, right? And nothing is silly, right? Write it down, write it down, write it down, and then see if you can refine it. Come tomorrow, put another idea beside it, so you can refine it. Then after that, you bounce it. Remember, we said that you must network and synergisticalize. You bounce it off somebody and say, what do you think about this idea? But don't get discouraged if they don't like it. Continue with your dream and your vision. Yes? So the fourth is developmental vision. And, it's deep in finance. You say, what product can I develop? What product can be sold, financial product, that will enhance the country, that will enhance job creation. These are some of the things. And then take advantage of places like the Development Bank and just, talk with them or others. But the fourth is developmental vision. I'm charging you not to come into the world and just take from the world. No, not after you come to this university. You have to create. You have to create. You have to create. You have to go home this evening and say, what can I think of? I'll go write it down. Right? And make it not destroy you, but consume you. That inner energy to say, what can I solve for? Yeah. Everybody is silent. But this is what I'm charging you to do. The fifth, we said the fourth is developmental vision, and the fifth is leadership in ambiguity. And if you are listening to me, you know the world is ambiguous anyhow, right? And the time is changing. When we look at it, we see that it doesn't seem as if there is anything called foreign policy anymore, or diplomatic policies, right? Everything gone out through the door, ambiguity. So the world is unpredictable. But you have to decide that you are going to be leading in spite of or despite ambiguity. Leaders must navigate uncertainty. So when we talk about this blueprint of changes and not copying and pasting, as a leader, you are going to not copy and paste. But you are going to lead your team. When you go into the organization, you're going to lead your team to think, to say, let us be creative. Let us use what we have and build on it that is fit for purpose. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Caribbean central banks adjusted policies rapidly to stabilize their economies. You might, in terms of, if you're an accountant, you might say, look, what we're going to do is stretch the credit, but stretch the credit, give a little bit more time for persons who have credit for us, which would be your receivable, and but we are going to do it in this manner. So you are coming up with not only letting everything go for a little while, but how will we do it? It could be paired to marketing, but it could create a product. So I'm asking you to think. Let us pause here now. Turn to the person next to you and share one system idea that could improve your community or country. And I'm going to wait for 2 minutes. I want everybody, every table, I want to see, I'm looking carefully, I want to see if you can share one little idea. I'm not seeing any movement on that table around there. That table, come on. Come. I want you to think while you're talking about our systems, contextual intelligence, governance, development vision, and leadership in ambiguity could make that little idea that you're thinking about succeed. I'm going to call on somebody, So you better start talking to each other, because I'm going to call on a table. I'm going to call on a table. I have one more minute, and I'm going to call on the table. All right? Now, 1, 2. Table 3, I'm going to say table 3, your table. Yes. Yes, the same one that pointed. Stand up now. Yes, you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Did you get an idea? Let me hear it. Come and share it. Come and share your idea. Share it with everybody, the idea. Come. Come and share that idea. Come, man, come. Get ready, because I'm going to call on that lady that her table has a red sweater on this side here. The table, yes. Yes, and the pink, the gentleman is in a nice pink shirt.
So the idea that we were thinking about, that my lovely table mate shared, we were saying that we realized that there's so much garbage here in our communities. So what one of our persons was saying, that we could have like private trucks that come and we can employ more workers and give them more pay so that they can come and collect the garbage so it doesn't be a problem in our community. So that's what we... And to eliminate the backlog of garbage not being collected. So that's what we were thinking about.
All right. Well, give a hand there. And probably at a certain point you put them on a technology to see when garbage is full, or invent some garbage disposal that tells you garbage full, or something like that. But give a hand there, please. That's a lovely business idea. Come, yes. She's coming. Come and talk about yours now. Share an idea that can improve your community or country.
Come on, guys.
Who is the spokesman there? She's shy?
They're shy.
That entire table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right? In the meantime, I want a volunteer. Come on, yes, yes. We'll come back to you. Now, what you have to do is to still work on your idea, still talk about your idea.
Thank you. Good morning again, everyone.
Good morning.
Do I have to stand? Thank you. All right, so my colleagues and I were discussing the common element of autism in our communities. And there's not much being done to understand what is happening with these children. So we are thinking that we could establish a proper center or a school so that these children can get regular education and that studies can be done to properly understand what is happening in their minds.
Okay. That sounds good. Sounds good. And that is going to elevate Jamaica. If you get a proper blueprint of that, you can spread it to the region, then to the world. Just some things like that. Anybody else has a, yes, please? Come, let's hear.
Hi, we were thinking about mental health.
Yes.
That we need more safe places for persons that will going through mental health. Yes.
Okay, that sounds, and you now create, how do you do that? Tell me how you're going to finance that. You think you will do a business plan and then take it to
Well, we'll want it to be in
the stock
a
market?
non-profitable organization.
Okay.
Yes.
So probably driving that would be a social stock exchange, putting your idea there.
Yes,
To
and
get
see if we can
funding?
get help from the private sectors.
And get
Yes.
funding from the private sector.
Yes.
Fantastic. Should I go back to table? Yes, please. All right, I'm going to skip the table. I'm not going to stress you, but I want you to think about it, okay? So you're going to write it down and you're going to talk to your team. So these conversations plant the seed for the systems that you will lead tomorrow, right? Just those little conversations, and I want you to continue to think these things through. So you're not just coming here for teaching, but you're coming here to apply the theme that says we're not going to cut using your thing, Prof. You're not going to cut and paste, but you are going to develop, you are going to expand, you are going to make it fit for purpose. I challenge you to consider not only how you fit into existing systems, but how you can strengthen them. We had examples of how to strengthen some systems right here in the audience. Do not simply follow global trends. Translate them into local solutions. Do not focus solely on personal success. I want you to underscore that as well. Do not only talk about only personal success. I will build that barn, and then tonight I will tear it down, and I'll build a bigger barn. The minister spoke about that this morning, right? But even in those things that you're talking about and you're not thinking personal success will come. Yes, build systems in which others can thrive. Design structures that invite recognition from communities and markets alike. Stand up for your vision. Stand up for your people. Stand up for the future. The future of trade, finance, and community partnerships will be written. I want to take this one in. So you know, if when in 10 years and I look at Jamaica, I'm going to understand why. And I'm going to read this. The future of finance, trade, and community partnership will be written wherever imagination, integrity, and courage converge. So if I don't see the development of our systems and partnerships. And, I will know that those ingredients were not put into the mix. Perhaps in Kingston we'll see it. Most definitely, we're going to see it in Mandeville. Am I correct? Those people from Mandeville, I don't hear you, you're tired? Perhaps in this very room, and I don't know about perhaps, I know in this very room, we are going to see some great things come off, not only using the wheel, starting with the wheel, but we expand and we make it fit for purpose. May you become a generation that does not replicate the world, but invent it. Jamaica must be known for invention. We're not replicating the world. We're going to invent it. We're going to structure it and amplify its possibilities for everyone. May the systems you design, and you notice I say you, may the systems you design inspire, empower, and earn the standing ovation of history. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Street Forest. I'm not here to move the vote of thanks. Dr. Street Forest, in our group, we came up with an idea. Our idea was in our community with farmers, small farmers, we would have met with them and find out how we can have them to study how they can plant those cash crop and don't have a glut in the market consistently. And they can also invest that money in the stock exchange and help to build Jamaica. That was our group. Good idea. May I invite Miss Carlene Berry from the Kingston campus. Okay. In the meantime, before Miss Berry comes, thank you. I'm going to invite 3 of the students, and I need a finance students included in this, to come up here and share with us 2 key takeaways from Dr. Street Forest's presentation. I have mine, but I want you to come and share 2 key takeaways from Dr. Street Forest. And you know some of you, I know you, so don't let me call you. So come. Key takeaways. So the mic is up here. Can you raise your hands so we can get to you? Come. Is there another? Could you just come so that we have it flowing? And at the end, one of you will get a copy of Dr. Street Forest's book on leadership, discipline, discretion, and daring. That's the prize that will be given to one of you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So the first one I have is Global Finance Moves at Unprecedented Speed and the Pattern changes daily. And the last one that you spoke about, which is the 5 leadership abilities, which is system thinking, contextual intelligence, governance literacy, development vision, leadership in ambiguous. Both of these stood out to me, especially the 5 leadership abilities, because for me personally, it would help me in my development.
Thank you so much. Is there another person? Thank you. Come for me, please, and I'll take one more. One more.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My 2 key takeaways from the presentation were start small and remain consistent, as well as finding a solution to the birth rate or age population care after retirement. These 2 stood out to me firstly because at the beginning she asked for innovative ideas, and I kept quiet because I thought it was small, so I said, why not just keep it to myself? And then, second point, it was interesting to think about, so I just kept it in one of my points.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So one of the key takeaways for me was when she mentioned that we were to unlock capital. And another one was when she said we were to invent, structure, and amplify systems. And that for me, the thought that came to mind was we could ensure that we, of course, do a little farming in our backyard just to ensure that we unlock capital and just to educate the community members of how important farming is. And that in itself will help us to, of course, unlock capital and to boost the economy.
Thank you. And I know we get all the ideas from the left, and I don't want to be selfish, and I'm going to take two from the right, from my right. Please come. Come, you have to be right. Come. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. So at the start, Dr. Street first asked a question, what makes you stand out? So two things that I took up from that specifically is how talent is nurtured and shaped, and the second thing is being committed to doing something different. I think these two are what stood out to be the most, as personally, I think it's my lifelong dream to help people realize their potential, and these are two ideas that will help me achieve that.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So what I took away from the speaker was that she challenges us not to replicate, but to design and to adapt. Right. And also we should embrace imagination, which should be guided by integrity. And these are important because as we look out in the world, we see that some persons do not operate with integrity. But here at Northern Caribbean University, we are empowered to operate our business and whatever we do with integrity. So those stood out to me.
So, Dr. Street Forest, we listened intentionally and we take note carefully. May I now ask Miss Carleen Berry from the Kingston campus to come and move the vote of thanks on behalf of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sino. Mrs. Street Forest, please come. All right, so there were a lot of takeaways for me, but have we been educated today, CBM graduates? Yes? I certainly have been, and some of the points I had were already mentioned, but I will mention them again. For me, what stood out to me is when she says, we must all embrace the power of imagination. Because there are a lot of ideas in the world, and we may be thinking of the same things, but when we think of new things, it brings something new to the sphere of the business world. She also said, small, consistent actions create extraordinary results. Right? Also, whatever we do, it must be fit for purpose. What does that mean? It means that not because somebody else did it in a previous class, we've heard a presentation that it is fit for what we are doing now. We must always strive to be relevant in what we do. Now, the 5 capacities were already mentioned, but just for emphasis, I will repeat. She says systems thinking, contextual intelligence, governance policy, developmental vision, and leadership in ambiguity. All right, so these are all pointers that we must take note of. And to end, we appreciate that you came. And for me, from a personal perspective, I perceive you as a gentle giant, doing marvelous things in all the achievements that you've had. And I perceive that you are a person of humility. And we appreciate you coming here today. I know we would have learned a lot. And to end, she says, don't only focus on personal success. That's selfishness. Because if we only focus on ourselves, we are going nowhere fast because we have to network. That is how we are successful in this world. And we are business students, so we can't keep to ourselves. We can't keep the ideas to ourselves. We have to expand and take other persons in our sphere. And last but not least, she says, don't replicate the world, invent it. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming.
I'm going to give this book. This book is going to be given to the first person who came up when they were asked to answer what you take away from the presentation. The first person who came up. The names of all the others who came up will be taken, and I will be sending books for you all. Yeah?
We could not allow Dr. Street Forest to leave without you asking questions. She is rich. She have wisdom, wealthy and rich. She have wisdom. And so, do you have any questions for Dr. Street Forest? We're not going to take a lot. We're going to take about 5 questions, and if not, we'll take 3. So could you just raise your hands, and the mic will come for questions or comment or anything you might want to ask her pertaining to her wisdom. Go ahead, any questions? Raise your hand. Here's the one. Where's the mic? And the others, if you raise your hands, then I can recognize you. We'll just do it quickly.
Okay, so my question for you, Dr. Street Forest, is as a former CEO of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, what advice would you give to us as university students who are now about to venture into the working world, and we are, if some of us are not already investors, we're aspiring investors, what advice would you give to us?
Okay, so the question is in terms of investment or in terms of going into the work world?
Well, it's a mixture of both,
Mixture?
along
Okay, so-
with entrepreneurship.
All right, so I'm going to start with going into the work world. Always ensure that you know the people who you work with even more than the work itself. Very, very important that as you enter the work world, you understand your fellow teammates. I was given that advice when I was 21, just leaving university. And I am telling you, it has been one of the best advice that I've been given. The other thing is always be the subject matter expert. And I don't want to be biased here because it's a female who asks a question, but I want to speak to it because it is important. When you are a subject matter expert as a female, you get the attention of everyone. I don't need to say any more. There is also the danger, I'm coming to investments. There's also the danger of people thinking that when they start out, they don't need to invest because they are young. But time catches up. And for example, especially with the stock market, it is really considered long term and start early. Do not wait for you to think that I have a lot of money, because that's the intention, to get lots of money. So you start with what you have. And there's an advertisement from one of the companies, I think it was VM, yeah, one less. You know it, Nigel? It means that what you do is prioritize. The monies that you take to buy 5 pairs of shoes, you can buy 1 less. And use that to invest in stocks, very important. Stocks outperform every other investment. Yeah, real estate is right up there too, but stocks. And buy. I'm not a broker, so I'm not going to give you advice as to what to buy, but it's important that you start and build that portfolio. There's another thing that so often people just buy one and they finish. You have to build that portfolio. Look at it, and investment is just about also how you deal with your health. You check to see that your ears are functioning, you check to see that your feet are working with your investment. Not that you're going to be checking every day, but there's a need to check after you invest. Yes, so those are the advice I would give.
Thank you. You see, when I talk about wisdom, is there another question? Is there any other question? What happened to my right? Come, please. Can stand. And if there's another one after Miss Smith, let me know. If not, we're going to be moving on. Okay, there's one more there. Fair. Thank you.
Good morning. So what are some things that executives like yourself look for in someone that is looking to enter the business analyst field, like entry level?
The things that one would look at, obviously, is your basic qualifications. You would look at that. But again, so many times we look at what we call hard skills, but usually it is important to look at the soft skills as well. So if you are coming into the organization, you would probably be tested by more, what is your ethical values? How you get along with people. You understand those sort of things. What is your commitment? It is also important that persons can see a deep, I'd say, fire in you for the job, right? So these are some of the things you look for in terms of that entry level, that taking that person into the organization. And be prepared. You did not, just talking about it generally, I've seen in my time where persons are coming into an organization and the resume looks good, but there are so many mistakes. And yet they want to be the programmer. Now, there's silence in the room, right? Time was not taken to take from that letter that you had sent it to the port authority before you send the same letter to XYZ. Those are some of the things you really look for, and probably that's one of the things I personally look for first is, has the person vetted that resume and cover letter properly? So all the pretty things after that you're going to tell me in that resume, while you should not form a full opinion, you are human beings, and you are going to form an opinion of the person right away. Yes? So bear that in mind.
Thank you.
All right. Can I go ahead, Ms. Senior?
Sure, Dr. Buckley, go ahead.
I just want to endorse the thanks given by Mrs. Berry, Dr. Street Forest. My question is this, and it's a concern I have. You talked about leading amidst ambiguity, and we know everything is just so fluid now. What additional advice could you give to our students who are becoming and will be business leaders in this ambiguous environment, not just financially, politically, socially? How can they successfully navigate this ambiguity?
Because you see, everything is whirling around, and you know, you don't know what is happening. Sometimes we lose focus. So I want to speak to that. We lose focus. And what we have to do is to focus. Set your mind on what is it really that I want to achieve. And go even against, is it the prick? When you are being focused on this thing. Stay focused, mindful that these are some of the things I want to do or I want to change. Also be grounded. We spoke about integrity. Because sometimes, because the world is changing and there is almost a demand that you get certain things done and to be successful. And you're going to find that in the workplace. What you have to do is focus on your integrity and your belief system. The other thing is family matters. Family matters. So you are also going to focus on carving out. Now, I'll tell you, it's long in the day, but one of the things that is most important is you find that place, that solace, wherever you are to find it, and the home would be something that is important. You carve out time for that home and family. So these are some of the things that you do, but I want to stress integrity. I want to stress focus. Focus. Knowing what you want to achieve and working towards achieving that by just staying straight on that objective.
Okay, I understand that we have some audience online and they also have some questions in the chat for you, Dr. Forrest. May I ask Mrs. Green to read those for us?
Okay, so we have a question from Jamarli Wasom. And he is asking, what are your thoughts on leveraging social media, not only for individual, but also for businesses?
Social media is where the action is. The traditional media, as you can see and you would have heard and you would have read, there is failing going on there. Many of the newspapers are trying to consolidate, whether it's in Jamaica, the region, the world. And so social media, most persons have phones, most persons have tablets, etc. And so social media, you have to get into the habit of advertising yourself, whether you're talking about YouTube, whether you're talking about Twitter, whichever, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is good for all of you that are business students. Get on there, because that is where you are going to find your link in terms of professional mingling and integration. So social media is extremely important. Many times people feel that it is cheaper than traditional media. And where you can find those areas that is cheap, take it. But it can also be expensive. But just in answer to the question, you cannot have a business nowadays. Absolutely not. And not try to go through the whole thing, the Facebook, the Twitter, the this, and all the other things. Utilize them. That's a part of technology. Utilize them because they are good. It brings attention to your business, and also it is a good measure of communication.
Okay, I understand we have one more question.
Good morning, Doctor.
Just before I go, is that the final question? Okay, we have some more questions. And I understand we have some more online. No more? Okay, go ahead for me, please.
Good morning. My question is, how can I generate passive income through the Jamaica Stock Exchange?
Oh, that one is easy. So you are not, let us just explain what passive income is. You are not actually working, right? It's not your 9 to 5. You invest and you allow it to work for you. That is what passive income is. And so there are currently about 150 securities on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Different types, whether they're in manufacturing, whether they're in banking, insurance, finance, what have you, manufacturing. And so the idea is to look at these securities. There's a website there. You look at them, see how well they are doing, or sometimes the prospect that they have, and invest in these securities. Now, obviously, and I know Sajiko is coming, and they will tell you all about that. You have different income streams coming from these securities. One, that there is capital appreciation. You know what that is? And that is the stock price going up. It could be capital depreciation too, but let us talk about appreciation. And so you might have bought it for $2 and then it goes up to $3. There's no capital gains tax, that's $1. And that would be passive income. You didn't do anything more than to buy it, right? And you could sell it afterwards. That way you in that example, it's 50% return there, no tax. Then you could get dividend on that, on the monies, and you have different companies paying different types of dividend, whether it's quarterly, annually. You have those dividend paying companies, and that's passive income because you might want every 3 months, say it's a quarterly, right? You might, every 3 months you have a need to pay your school fee, right? And so if you invest in those type, you know that obviously you are studying, but come X time you will have something to put towards the fee, right? And obviously what you need to do is not one stock, because stocks go up and stocks come down. You build a portfolio. Yeah? Okay.
Go ahead. Other question? Do we have any more after? Yes. One more? Okay, thank you.
As young entrepreneurs and inventors who may find it necessary to seek capital, how can one safeguard or protect one's idea or invention as funding is sought to develop or scale that idea or invention?
Okay, so you can patent or copyright the idea first. There is it slips me the name of the organization now, but it is there. We have it. So you can ensure that you go register your idea so that it's not stolen, or you patent it. And then at the same time, if you are going to be sharing that idea with others, from a purely business side, and you say you're going to the bank or you are going to a financial house, you might want to ask for a non-disclosure agreement, NDA. So you're right, they sign and you sign because you know you have something to protect, and that they will not share that idea with anyone. So those are the ways in which you could protect your idea while growing, trying to build out or scale that idea. Yeah?
Okay, we have another question. Is that the last question? The final? Go ahead with your question, please.
Hello. So as someone of your caliber who would have accomplished so much, I would like to know if you have ever faced things that have challenged your moral or ethical compass. Well, I am a financial student, and many people in the world may have it to say that to be a successful financial professional, you would have to withhold certain information from your client. Or it could be a case where your employer may have certain asks of you that you're not able to fully carry out, which may cost you your job. How would you manage that?
So I must say that I have faced in employment, not my current, something that could challenge my moral compass. And the challenge is worse when you have a deep respect for the person. Because at that point, you're in a quandary, you don't know what to do. You know, you said, should I speak about this, should I not? But you have to be grounded in your principles. You can't waver from your principles. You have to be grounded in your principles. Now, in an organization, there is a path in terms of how you communicate these things. Generally, you have whistleblowing. Most organizations have whistleblowing procedures and policies. No. But where I was, I did not have that. There was no whistleblowing policy or procedure. But I was left, I felt very uncomfortable. And if it is the person you directly report to, then you might really have to skip that person because that's a person that you're having a challenge with and go to the next level and say, you know, nicely, I have a challenge here. There's this, it could compromise me, and this is, as a result of that, I'm reporting it. So you have to do what is right. That's at the end of the day, you have to do what is right. And your moral compass is to say that don't hide it, tell it.
Thank you for your engagement, both in person and online. I thank you, Dr. Forrest, for imparting your knowledge and your wisdom to us today. Thank you so much. Let me acknowledge those online. It's my privilege to have you join us online. I know you're not here physically, but thank you for your participation. We're going to ask you to take 10 minutes break. It's raining outside, so 10 minutes. And when we return, I would invite Mr. Edwards Morris, assistant professor in the College of Business and Prophesying, in the College of Business and Management, to join us as we will have a panel discussion. Thank you. So now for 10 minutes break, and I'll be back here for 10 minutes, and you know me on time, 10 minutes. Thank you so much. You have been good so far. Thank you.
Okay, so students, to your left and to your right are the stations for tea, so you can make your way to either section of the room.